As I said, it's been a long journey, and we've come a long way, and we just have a little bit longer to go till we're going to have a building here. But those of you who know Castro Valley know that the library's had a rich heritage of service, from a chicken brooder house to a water tank house to our current location on Redwood Road. And today, as we break ground, we hope to have a new facility here on this site in fall of 2009. So let's just quickly reflect on the past. The Castro Hill branch, originally known as the Crow Canyon branch, opened in 1915. The branch manager was paid $2.80 an hour. The Castro Valley Branch Library opened in 1927. The branch manager was a volunteer who later received a salary of $20 a month. The current branch library is over 40 years old, and since it was built, the school-age population of Castro Valley has grown by 85%. The new library will be a state-of-the-art facility, serving as a central part of the economic stimulus plan for Castro Valley, because for every dollar invested in public libraries, there's a $3 to $6 return on investment to the community. And we know that the new library will be a gathering place for the community. And now we get to hear from Senator Ellen Corbett, who knows how libraries can vitalize a community and was very instrumental in helping us secure funding for the project.
Thank you very much, everybody. This is such a great day here in Castro Valley, and I'm just so glad I had an opportunity to be part of it. Let me thank the Alameda County Librarian Jean Hoffackett and Alameda County Library Foundation Director Richard Agiluni for inviting me here to be here today for part of this very momentous occasion. People have already said it, libraries are the cornerstone of engaged and educated citizenry, and we know that Thomas Jefferson, considered to be one of the earliest proponents of a public library system, and who helped establish the Library of Congress with his own collection, said, "I cannot live without books." You only wonder what he would have thought of blogging and Blackberries and texting and all that today. Libraries are no longer book stacks. They are community gathering places. They're places where we reach around the world when we have an opportunity to access the internet. And they're places where people go to discover themselves and learn more about what's going on around them. But I want to tell a little story. Well, first of all, before I tell my little story, I just want to say I'm so proud to have been able to represent this community. You guys really know how to put something together. You're elected officials, you're community members, you've been persistent, and over the years, you never gave up the dream for this day to break ground for this wonderful, wonderful facility. And I want everybody out there in the audience that had something to do with this library to raise your hand, because I know every single one of you had something to do with it. What could be a finer example of what a community is all about? People getting together for the betterment of their community and to do something for the future and for their children, a very special thing. So I want to tell you about my involvement in this. A number of years ago when I was in the State Assembly, the law librarian came to me, Ms. Wood, she came to me and she said, you know, Ellen, there's an opening on the library construction board. I know you used to be a library commissioner back in San Leandro. Would you be interested? Little at that time when she first approached me, did I have any idea what she had in mind for me. The library bond had been passed, and one of my colleagues had moved on to the Senate, so the position of an assembly member was open. So I went to the speaker and I said, Mr. Speaker, you know, I'm somebody who has a little knowledge about libraries. Can I please represent the assembly on this board? So the rest is really history. Linda, of course, then started her work. I shouldn't say started her work. She continued her work, and she advocated for this fine library. And some of you who were involved in the everyday, day-to-day process to advocate for this money, you remember there were 3 rounds to the library bond. Do you remember that? There was the first round, and Castro Valley wasn't in the first round. And then there was the second round, and Castro Valley was way at the top, but it didn't make the final cut. And many of you had come up to Sacramento to those meetings, and many of the young people had written letters, and the Construction Bond Board had read all the information and made tough decisions because there were so many wonderful projects available. And Castro Valley was really at the top. Castro Valley was following the sustainable principles that the treasurer was interested in. It's near the BART station. The technology plan was great. Everything was looking good. But they said in that second round, we know Castro Valley can do a little better. And that was a little bit of a heartbreaker because we thought they were the best at that time. So in the third round, Castro Valley came on strong. And again, it was very tough because it was the third round. So everybody who had applied for this bond period was competing for that last bit of money. And so, it was a little nail biting going on. But all of you got in your cars, drove back to Sacramento, attended the meetings, wrote the letters, got all of your elected officials involved, and finally on that very last day, and I know some of you were there, on that very last day, they were announcing the libraries. Oh, this library got funding, and that library got funding, and this library got funding. And at the very end of the day, finally, when there was just a few more to be announced, they announced the Castro Valley Library will also be awarded in the funding in the amount of $13.9 million. Little did we know, but once the dust settled, that was the largest grant given in the entire bond project for a library right here in Castro Valley. So I just want to tell all of you, obviously your hard work paid off and your persistence paid off, and you should be very, very proud. You're such a wonderful community, and I can't wait to break the ground, but even more, I can't wait someday to walk through the doors of that beautiful building. Thank you all so much.
And now, will those of you on the podium please join us over to our stage right.
Oh, they're really making us work. 1, 2, 3. Sorry about that.